Okay, we're there. We're at the last start of the evening. I admire the strength of your buttocks to keep them seated so well. I'd like to introduce you to Pat Phelan and Chris Kennedy, serial entrepreneurs from Ireland, who have set their sights on solving a $20 billion problem. So I'm delighted to introduce you to Trustev.
I'm Chris.
And we're Trustev. Trustev is a real-time online identity verification platform. So fraud, online fraud right now is $20 billion a year. Fake credit cards, card not present, etc. And the really interesting thing is it's growing at twice the rate of e-commerce. 27% of every online order was reviewed last year. 200 million land days. And worst of all, 8% of those 27 were actually fraud. And we were speaking to a very large global company in clothing last week, and they told us that their key metric for deciding between fraud and not fraud is they use Google Maps and check out the curtains in the house. So they look and see, and it's completely antiquated.
Trustev's fraud prevention solution looks at three core pieces of data: behavioural data, transactional data, and social data. So in regards to behavioural and transactional data, we look at the customer's IP address, we look at whether or not they're coming in on a proxy. Look at their browser and their device, we've seen it before, and just look at their general behaviour across the site to try and determine whether or not they're likely to be human or fraudulent. Where it's present as well, we'll also look at social data. So we look at it from the point of view of patterns and try and identify whether or not a social account is real or fake. Combining all that information together, we come up with a score between 0 and 100, which indicates to the merchant whether or not we believe an order is going to be fraudulent. So our technology is very simple. It sits into the merchant sites, it collects all that data about behavior, about the transaction. The integration itself is just one line of code. It's a very simple JavaScript plugin. We also have plugins available for Magento, Shopify, Hybris, and soon to come to Manual. Of course, we're built to scale. We're a global solution for a global problem. We use multiple cloud vendors for unrivaled uptime and security. Our platform is architected to be PCI compliant to build out really a best-in-class real-time analytics platform for fraud.
Thanks. Generally, most of our customers are in the million transactions per month, and anyone under 1,000 transactions per month is totally free to use our platform. There's no integration cost, there's no monthly minimum. So we built a rockstar team. Just to give you some example, Dermot, who was the head of fraud in Facebook, he was personally responsible for eliminating 8 million fake Facebook profiles 2 years ago. He then moved on to the head of fraud at Symantec. We have a number of engagements: retail, online, lending, gambling, and platforms. So we've just closed the $3 million seed round, which we announced last week in the Web Summit, from some of the largest VCs in the US and Europe. We have a number of key advisors, and Ian, who you may know, who's the head of Google EMEA. Trevor is now with Singtel, and David Collier is a data scientist who just sold his company to Engineer. We started in April 2012. We developed the world's first social fingerprinting solution. It was developed to prevent cardholder not present fraud. We're doing right now 1.6 million transactions a week. So where are we going? Early next year, we move into payments. We offer guaranteed protection and we rebuild the card to completely eliminate this cart abandonment problem. So just to give you a small demo, you pick a t-shirt, you check out, and we ask you to sign in on one of your social platforms. You sign in, we scrape whatever information you have there, and if you haven't there, information there, you fill it in and we put it back to Facebook, or in this case, Facebook, and you check out. The next time you return to any of our customers on any of our platform, you buy a mobile phone, you press checkout, we've already got your credit card. So you completely flow through the site much faster, and we confirm your payment. So it's verified identity, cookie and cookie-less. We've asked the question to confirm identity, we've taken the payment, guaranteed payment, and massively increased conversions. That's the key here. So just to give you an idea of some numbers. 2 years ago, this market didn't exist. We've now got 3.5 billion credit cards issued by Chinese banks, all with an insatiable demand for Western goods, and no one servicing them. The same way that we're not servicing Russia, the same way we're not servicing India, the same way we're not servicing Africa. We're closing these markets due to worry about fraud. We completely eliminate fraud. We allow you to ship globally into that side of the market. We're Trustev. Thanks very much.